Welcome everyone to RPR's Refreshed, Redesigned, and Rebuilt for Realtors. My name is Joe and I'll be your instructor, and I also have Robert with us and Andrea, who will be helping with questions. So if you guys have any questions throughout the webinar, please use that Q&A box, type in your questions, and we'll make sure we get those answered today. I'm going to let Andrea start off here.
Yes, and I'll actually even, allow Robert here, if you want to say any quick words to your Miami Realtor members, please feel free to do so.
Sure. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining our RPR Refresh webinar. This is our first official webinar for our members. And as you guys know, we always record our sessions and we will be loading them into Miami Realtors Live, which everyone can find inside of your Miami dashboards, and also our YouTube channel, which is Miami Trainers. Look out for more training in March. You can always go to miamirealtors.com and then log into the event calendar. You'll see several RPR trainings from your Miami Trainers as well from RPR, where we're going to be teaching you the new platform of RPR. We're very excited. There's a lot of changes for the positives, and the trainers ourselves, we've already been certified by RPR, and we're ready to rock and roll. So excited to watch Joe and her team present RPR to our members.
Great. Thank you so much, Robert. Again, my name is Andrea Goodhart, and I am an industry relations director with RPR and have been working with your team there at Miami Realtors. So we're really excited to present this first look at the RPR Refresh site. But before we get started, I wanted to just quickly review a couple of really important items as reminders to you about who and what RPR is. We probably have a large number of attendees today that are very familiar with RPR and you're interested in seeing what's changed with this refresh site. But we may have a few that are new to RPR. So let's just kind of do a little quick level set, and then I will turn it over to Joe Teeter, who is one of our training managers that's been doing national webinars for the last few weeks, and she'll be great at being able to give you a nice tour and then answer some of the questions that you do have. So very quickly, just as a reminder, RPR, Realtors Property Resource, is an wholly owned subsidiary and technology company brought to you through NAR, the National Association of Realtors. This is a member benefit brought to you through the relationship between NAR, RPR, and Miami Realtors. And as a wholly owned subsidiary that's been here since 2010, the whole goal was to provide a national database of property and parcel-centric information. So not only just Miami data is within the database of RPR, but national data. So think nationally. And what's unique about RPR, again, is that it's exclusive to realtors only. And there's no additional charge to you. This is included within your NAR dues. So this is a fantastic member benefit that we really want to make sure that you as members, realtor members, take advantage of. And I know that Miami Realtors has been so supportive and committed to making sure that you're aware and training on the RPR system. So it's exclusive to realtors, and that means there's no consumer or public access to RPR, which means when you deliver an RPR report that's full of wonderful information and compelling data on the property, on the neighborhood, on the community and trends, that is something that's usually unique for a consumer because they don't have direct access to the RPR system. So that's really valuable. the RPR product was developed with you in mind to reinforce the value of the realtor member. And so with that, I think as you take a look, consider that RPR has been here now since 2010. So it was time to listen again, as we have through many, many years of providing new features along the way. But it was time for a new, modern, fresh look, and we listened to our members. So Joe will get into a lot of these changes as we move forward. So again, she'll remind you to use the Q&A box, and we'll either try to answer those as we go live or answer those at the end of the session. So with that, Joe, I will turn it over to you. And thanks again, everyone, for being here.
All right. Thank you, Andrea. Thank you, Robert. We're going to be talking about why did we do a refresh? And then we're going to go through the summary of changes that have occurred. We're going to talk about all the changes on the home page, on the search, as well as the search results. And then we're going to touch base also on commercial. There were some changes in there as well. So why did we do a refresh? As Andrea said, we're about 10 years old, and we had a sense that it was about time to upgrade our platform. So we spent a lot of time looking at what our members were saying about the site. You know, as much as they love RPR, it wasn't perfect, and we could find ways to improve. So we heard members say things like, oops, there we go. It can be hard to find things. I don't know where to start. I need quicker access to my previous work. We also heard from trainers, agents. We heard through people through our help desk and member support. We also had a lot of focus groups throughout the last few years that we worked with. And we took all of their feedback and we listened. And what you see today is from all of that feedback that we had received over the last couple of years. So on the home page, we have new pull-down menus for quick access, including quick links to marketing and research tools. You now have access to the residential and commercial all in one location just by moving the toggle. There's a lot of new shortcuts, which are guided tours, and I'll be taking you through those. And then we have cards. So you can really customize your account very easily by using the cards, whether you expand them or collapse them. If you're not using that card, you can now collapse them and hide them. So there's a lot of different ways that you can now use the new site. So we're going to go through all of that. On the search side, we consolidated the search form. So it's a lot more versatile and robust search filter options. It's more streamlined user interface, so it's easier for the agents to navigate and to use right from the beginning. And then we also have new filters that will give you an opportunity to really refine your search, as I will show you when we get into the live site. And then on the search results, we now have a preview account. So you're going to know how many properties are going to show up in your results. We have multiple views. We have a list view, a photo grid view, and a map view. And then there's also check boxes. So you can check multiple properties and then go up to print and print those 3, 4, 5, 10 properties, however many that you want to do. So we'll be showing you that. And then on the commercial side, we improved the search filter. So we added for lease and land use codes. We streamlined the site selection tools. And we now have listings from multiple partners, such as the MLS, Brevitas, Crexi, BuyProxy, Catalyst, OfficeSpace.com, TotalCommercial.com, and Landbroker MLS. And we've also improved the partner deep links. So let's go ahead and take a look. All right, so this is what the new site looks like. And it may be kind of overwhelming at first, but let me just show you where everything is located and easy to access. So up here at the top, oops, I just lost my mouse here. There we go. So up here at the top is our navigation bar. Okay, so right now we're on the home. When I click on the research here, you can now do a property search from here, a map search, a neighborhood search, a school search, or a market activities search. You can also access the commercial site selection as well as the commercial map insights. Under the marketing, you can prospect for residential clients, commercial clients. You can do a property flyer on residential, and you can also create a commercial property report. Now in here, so if you're working with a residential client or want to, you can click on prospecting for residential clients, and it's going to be a guided tour on how to find. So let's say, and I know here in Phoenix, our market, we literally have no inventory. So I want to look for sellers. So I would come down here and click on sellers. And it's going to tell me to start clicking by the research. So I'm going to click on research and then map search. So it literally will walk you through step by step on how to find sellers, potential sellers or buyers, depending on which ones you need. So take advantage of those guided tours in there under the marketing tab, as well as down here, we have shortcuts here too, which I'll also show you in a minute here. Under the reports tab, here's where you can turn the bell on or off, depending on if you're needing the quiet or you're in a quiet spot and you don't want that doorbell to ring. You can create a CMA, and then you have access to all of the residential reports and also the commercial reports. Under the Learn, no matter what page you're on, you're going to have all of our resources, whether it's the videos or articles. You have access to all of this information that can help you learn how to use the page that you are currently on. So keep in mind, if you need to know how to do a CMA and you're in that area, just click on that Learn and it's going to pull up on how to do a CMA. So whatever page you're on, always come up to the Learn and it will give you some ideas on what you can do on that page. On the Help, this is where you can access our knowledge base. So you can type in a question. So let's say, for instance, I wanted to know more about what an RVM is. So I would click on RVM, go to search, and it's going to pop up, open up another tab up top, and then give me all of the articles that have been written about what an RVM is. And then you can click on whatever article you like and learn more about that topic. And then you have other topics up here at the top as well. All right, so you can go to our knowledge base. You can also call us 24 hours a day. That number is right there. You can do a live chat with us, and you can also email us at support@narrpr.com. You can also access the training area, which has all of our tutorials and all of our webinars scheduled, as well as videos on demand that you can watch. So always have access to that. And again, this bar up here, this navigation bar is there always on any page that you're on in RPR. Under the My Work, anytime you save a property, save a search, anything that you do in RPR, it's going to show up in this area here. So here's all my recent searches, my saved searches, my notes, my reports, so on. All that you have looked at is going to be right here. And again, accessible from any page. Over here, you may have your photo in there or maybe your initials. But if you click on that drop-down arrow, this is where you can access your profile, your settings, or sign out. So if I click on profile here, it takes me right into my profile. Make sure that you come in and change your time zone here and make sure your contact information, everything is right there for you. And then your settings is also here as well. So you can go ahead and set your settings here and your markets. This is my markets, which is the same as the home areas in the old one. We had a limit of 10 in the old site. Now you are unlimited. You can have as many as you want in this area. So keep in mind on that. Maggie, I'm going to answer your question here in just a few minutes. Hang on. All right, I'm going to go ahead and just hit save. Does RPR work the same as MLS once you find a property? We have all of your MLS data inside of RPR, so technically, yes. So we're going to get into all of that, so be patient. We're going to get there. All right, so this is your navigation bar again, always there. The next one is the location. And so when you're doing searches, this is where you're going to be inputting your criteria. So right here, you can see right at the beginning, we've got residential and commercial. So you can just toggle back and forth between the two. You can enter the location. You have type and status. So now you can look for both properties that are for sale and for lease at the same time. or you can look for public records and then put in the sold date down here. So you now have several options here. You can select both and then select any of these that you'd like. If you do select one that is an off-market property, it is going to go back and give you a time date already in there. You can always go back and click on this little calendar button, and then you can do this month, 30 days, 3 days, 6 months, 12 months, custom date range. And then just hit apply, and everything that you have checked will apply those dates to that range. So you can always hit apply to all selected statuses. All right, let me go ahead and uncheck that. We'll come back to that in just a little bit here. Under the property type, you can select all property types, or you can go ahead and uncheck all and then just select what you do want. You have your price range. Now, I'm going to come back to this just in a little bit here. Once I show you the rest of this, this has got a unique little feature here. I'm going to go ahead and delete those. And then, of course, you've got beds, baths, and then filters. Let's go down a little bit further here. We've got shortcuts next. And in the shortcuts, these are guided tours. So if I wanted to know how to do a CMA, I would click on Create a CMA. And it's going to pop up with this magenta box. Okay, show me. And then it's going to literally walk me through step by step. So I would put in the address of the property that I want to do a CMA on, and then it would hit the next step. And so it would literally walk me through step by step on how to do that task. So take advantage of these shortcuts that we have down here. Now you'll also notice that there are 3 dots at the end of that bar. And throughout the new RPR, you're going to see this on quite a few. This is a card. So if I click on those 3 dots, this is where I can either collapse it or expand it, depending on which one's currently open. So right now, this is open or expanded. If I hit collapse, it's going to hide those shortcuts. So if you don't need the shortcuts, it just brings everything up a little bit closer, and you can now hide that. But again, if you want to bring that back, click on those 3 dots and then click expand. Here's my markets. And you can, again, add in as many as you'd like. We were limited to 10 before. Now you can have as many. So if I wanted to come down here and let's say I want to add, and I'm going to come over here to, and it takes you right into your profile. I'm going to go ahead and add in, Miami, Florida. And I'm going to pick on a zip code here, 33134. And then I can go ahead and add. And then if I want to do a neighborhood, I could put a neighborhood in there. So again, you can add as much of my markets in there. And then when you come back up here and click save, and let's go back home. Now what I can do is scroll down here to Miami, click on it, and it's going to show me everything that's going on in the last 10 days in Miami, Florida, in that zip code. So I can see the number of properties for sale, for lease, the price change, the pending, closed for sale, closed for lease, and distressed. And you can click on any one of those and go in and take a look. Okay. All right, so those are my markets. Scrolling on down, you've got my listings. So under my listings, if you've got listings in your MLS, you're going to be able to see the active under contract, pending, closed, coming soon status of any of your current listings. And then you've got the sort options here. On the previous listings, so any listings that you had in the off-market date that is more recent than 180 days is also going to show up in here. So the listings that are scheduled to close, you know, whether you're the selling agent, the co-listing agent, or the listing agent will also show up in here. And then you also have the sort options here. Under my properties, anytime you save a property, it's going to show up in here. And then you also have any recent properties that you've looked at are going to show up in here. And it's always going to tell you whether you did it on your desktop or on your mobile, because it'll have a little phone here. So it always tells you where you created that search. Any reports are going to show up in here. And then any notes are also going to show up in here. If you put in more than one note on a property, it's always going to give you the number of notes that you have on that property. And so you can kind of see, and then you can always click on any one of those links and go back in and revisit those properties or notes or any one of those. All right. Our recent searches recently viewed, still stored for 30 days only. Good question. Okay, so when you're looking at the saved and the recent, these are the top 20. So it's the last 20 properties with the most recent being at the top of that list. So it's on the recent, it's the last 20 properties that were viewed and so on. So it's not for 30 days. The 30 days still goes to the reports. So when you generate a report, it is only going to be there for 30 days and then that will disappear. But as far as the others, it's just going to show you the last top 20 of properties that you've saved, recent, and so on. Same way with searches. Searches are the same way. So it's going to show you your last 20 searches that you have done. And then you can also sort. And then also you've got your recent ones as well. And then right below that, you can click on join the discussion, which will take you into our RPR Connect Facebook group and join the discussions in there. You can call us anytime at that number. And then this will take you right into our resource center where you can learn from our tutorials, articles, knowledge base, videos, and other webinars that you can also join. So keep in mind that those are all here as well as up here under the help. Okay. All right, so that is just the home page there. So let's go ahead and do a search. I'm going to go ahead and go into Miami, and I'm going to just pick on that zip code. So 33134. I'm going to go over here to the type and status. We're going to put in for sale and for lease. So I'm going to look for both types of properties. I'm going to choose just active, but you've got active under contract here if you'd like. You've got pending, hold, as well as any of these others. I'm just going to keep it very simple and basic here. Property type, I'm just going to go ahead and choose single family and condo here. But again, you have all these others that you can choose from. On the price, let me go ahead and get rid of those here. Okay, so when you click in the price here, it's going to give you a drop down. So let's say I'm looking for something that's starting at 800,000. So I can go ahead and add that in. And then when I click max, it starts at 800 and goes up from there. So you don't have to go and scroll through anymore, which is kind of nice. But the other thing is, let's say you've got a client that only wants to go as high as 930,000. So why would I want to go clear up to $1 million? So if I go ahead and just type in a 9, it does show that I've got 900, 925, 950, and 975. But my clients are only authorized to go up to 930. So now I can go ahead and just put in 930,000. So you can put in the exact amount that your clients have been qualified for. Now, if you do include lease, it works the same way. I'm just going to keep this very basic so we don't get a lot of them. I'm just going to keep it at 2,000 to 2,000 here. And then you have the option right below that of choosing what type. All right, then you've got your beds. Right now I'm just going to go ahead and leave that alone, but you can see where you can add the number of beds and baths, same way. And then if you go into the filters tab and click on filters, you can modify anything that you've already done up here. You can see those are already here for you. You can add in your size, your living square footage, your lot size, and number of units. Here's where you can do the current distressed. You can exclude anything that's in the distressed mode, or you can say, okay, I just want to look at the short sales, or I want to look at those that are just received their notice of trustee or the auction notice, or a bank owned, or you can select all of those if you'd like as well. Okay. And then if you do select those, you can also add in your distressed date. You can look for properties that have an open house coming up. You also have land and lot. So this is the standard use. So when you're looking at a property, maybe a vacant lot, and you want to know, okay, I want anything that can be used for an aircraft, or anything that can be used for arcades, or, you know, a bakery. So you can be very specific on the land use. It's not zoning, It is how the land is being used at that point, or could be used at that point. You have your miscellaneous fields down here now, where you can look for owner-occupied properties, or you can look for absentee owner properties, depending on whether you're looking for buyers or sellers. You can put in the owner's name, the year built, and then timed owned. So if you're looking for buyers, you may want to do absentee owners and maybe look for those people that have been in that property for 0 to 5 years. They may be ready to move out and into their own home. Or maybe you're looking for owner occupied and you want people that have been in their home, multiple years. Let me go ahead and undo that. So let's say you're looking for someone maybe that's ready to downsize, maybe to move into a condo or something, the empty nesters. So now I can look for properties that have been occupied and owned by the owner for more than 10 years. Maybe they're ready to do something different. So again, this just gives you a lot more options on looking for properties and getting your listings. Are the short sale and NOD search fields only for approved short sales, not unapproved where there's no NOD? Robert, you may be able to answer us better than I can. Again, this is all coming from public records. So however the public records handles this, this is where that information is coming from, whether they get the notice of trustee sale or a short sale, or it's a bank-owned property. Okay. All right. Keyword search. This is the top 25 keywords that have been used over the last few years. And so if you just click on one of those, it's going to automatically select it. If you find that your keyword is not in here, maybe you want ocean view. Whoops, can't type. Ocean view. Then I could go ahead and just hit that, hit enter, and it adds it as a selected word. So you can add up to 6 keywords again. And then once you have all of your filters, just come back up to the top here. And you can see right now, using the filters, I've got 6 that are going to come back. So if I click update search, I've got 6 properties now, which I had 15 earlier today. So I'm not sure what I did differently here. But anyway, you can kind of see what's going on here. Let me go ahead and let's go ahead and change this down to, I really want to show you the difference between the two here. Let's go ahead and update here. Here we go. 84 properties. Okay, so now you can see here, right now I am on the list view. I have my little navigational breadcrumbs over here that shows here's the home, the property search. Right now I'm on search results, and there's 84 properties that have come up on my search criteria. To the right of that is the list view, the photo grid view, and the map view. And we're going to go through all of those here in just a minute. But let me start with the list view here. On the left-hand side, you can sort. Right now, the default is price. Click that down arrow. You can either sort down or up, any one of these different ways. So you have lots of ways to sort. Or you can sort by any one of these columns. So here it's sorted by price. If I just click on that again, it will sort it in the other direction and resort my list. And click on it again, it resorts it back the other way. You can see here, we've got the photo that the agent put in. I can see that this one is new, it's active. It is a condo townhome. I can see what the price is and the status date, and then the address, and then the data about it. At the beginning, right before that picture, you're going to see a checkbox. So you can select several or as many as you'd like, and then you can come up here to print, click on print, and then you can print only selected properties, or I could print all 84 properties here. All right. Keep in mind that you also have mailing labels up here, which these checkboxes do not pertain to mailing labels when you have a search for active properties. And then you can also create a report here as well. Okay, scrolling on down, there are going to be times when you're going to see multiple listings. So if I click on multiple listings, you can see here the ID. This one happens to be a commercial. And so here's the condo, and then there is a commercial in the area as well. So if there's multiple listings in your MLS, you're going to see both of those. Okay. So anytime you see multiple listings, just click on it, and then it's going to give you the information. Under where it says new, you may also see coming soon. You may see open house. You may see active under contract, pending. So all of those are going to show up in little banners underneath the status there. Okay. All right, let me scroll on down here. And we got lots of, I'm going to go back up here and take out, now that I've shown you that, let's just go ahead and I'm going to take this back out to 2K, just so that we can show you a little bit more. Okay, now 15 properties. Okay, all right. So again, let's take a look. So down here, you can see our active property, single family here, and you can see the status, and you can see the price and the date that it became active. Again, here's the multiple listings. I can click on that. It's going to show one that was closed recently, and then now it became active. You're also going to see this little heart over here on the right-hand side. So you can see this one has already been identified. In other words, I have saved that property. If I want to save another one, just click on that heart. It pops up and says, save this property. It can save it with the address, and then just hit save, and now you can see that that has been saved. If you want to save one and give it a special name, like Teeter Family, and then hit save, you can even save it with a custom name. So if you've identified a property that's for a specific buyer or seller, then you can go ahead and name it that way. Now you can always go back in and click on that heart, and then you can also delete it, and it will unselect it and take it out of the save category. All right, so now I've got my properties saved, and those are just some of the things that you can do on the list view. So let's go over here to the photo grid view. So again, you can still sort by any one of those ways. You have access to the mailing labels, print, and create a report. And then you've got your information, got the pictures here. Up here in the left-hand corner of the picture is where you can place the check mark. You can also, when you do that, you can also see right above how many were selected. So now I can go ahead and select all of them if I want, or I can go ahead and deselect all as well. Here's where you can change the heart to save it. You've got your data row here. So if you're looking at a condo and townhome, you've got 2 beds, baths, square footage, and then the year built. If you're looking at a single family, you've got the beds, baths, square footage, and lot square footage. So depending on the type of property in your search, will make a difference on what is in that data row. You can access all the details about the property by clicking on either the address or clicking on the picture. So if I wanted to click on this picture, or let's pick on the one that I selected here. So if I just click on the picture, it takes me right into all of the details about that property. Now, if I want to go back to my list here, all I have to do is click search results, and it takes me back to my list or whatever view I was on. So again, you have access to all of that information right here. All right, and then let's see. Is there any chance to have an alert according to our search, new or expired? Okay, on that one, Andrea, I would definitely go back and I would put in my market. So I would identify the area and put it in the my market area, because it will identify anything new that's going to alert you every single day. And you can have that one up all the time on your list. So I would definitely put it in the my markets area. So what's the difference between blue active and orange and yellow active? Okay, we're going to show you that on the map. But when you're looking at this, the yellow means it's a condo and townhome. The blue means it's a single family. Would you repeat what is being said about mailing labels in the property search? When you're doing a property search and you have active properties, it doesn't work for an active property search. But if you're doing it in the public record search, then you can use the mailing labels and the check boxes there. You just can't do check boxes on an active property and mark it to them. So, okay, let's go up here to the last one, which is the map view. And you can see all of the properties are showing on my map. I can click on them just like I could before. Gives me the details. I can go to full details here, or click on the address, or click on the picture to go in and look at all the details. And it tells me who the owner is here. I can save the area. So when I click on that area, I can save the area here. Now, if I want to save this whole entire area, I just click Save Area. And then I can give it a name. Let's go Teeter Family, and then hit Save Area. And when I do, you can see it access your new saved area right here. So if I click that down arrow, here is my Teeter Family search. I just click on it, and it's going to pull up and bring me this area again. So it's just a quick way to access anything, any search that you have saved. You have all of your show geography still here like we did before, where you can access opportunity zones, zip codes, neighborhoods, schools, so on. Remove boundary in the upper right-hand corner up here just will remove the boundary that you have, the orange one, and then it will populate based on your criteria, your entire map area with properties. I'm not going to do that right now. On the right-hand side are all of your map tools. Okay, so up here at the top, the first one is where you can zoom in and then zoom out. So you can move that around. Sometimes we get to looking around our map and then we've lost the area. Okay, so I'm looking at downtown and I want to go back to my original. This little button right here that's highlighted in blue where my mouse is, if I click on that, it brings everything back into focus and centers it on your screen. So it's a great way to find if you get lost a little bit there. All right, the next one down is a full screen view. So right now, you can see up here, I've got all my criteria and I've got my map. And if I click on the 4 arrows here, I lose all of my criteria, but I still have all of my tools here on the right-hand side, and I've got a bigger map to look at. You can always click on those again to go back, but I'm going to leave it here for right now so you guys can see this easier. Right below that, you've got view. So if I click on view, you've got your satellite view, and then I can zoom in. You've got the aerial view, just like we did before, where it's got all the names of the streets and everything. And then the road view is the default. But you also have terrain. So if I click on terrain, it may look like nothing works. So if you just kind of move around, if you've got a mountainous area, you can see here, there's just a little area here. And if I zoom in, you can see that there are some changes here in elevation. So if you are in a mountainous area, or you're looking in a mountainous area, or valleys or whatever, you're going to be able to see the terrain for that particular area, which is kind of cool. So check that out. I'm going to go ahead and center again. All right, so that is the view. Right below that, you've got drawing. I'm going to zoom out here just a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and click on draw. We still have box, the polygon, and the radius. And I think someone in the beginning of the class asked about those. This is where they're at. It's on the map view. Under draw, you've got box, polygon, and radius, and they work the exact same way. But now you also have freehand, which I'm excited about. Just like we did on the RPR mobile app, you can click on freehand, get this nice big pencil here, and now all I have to do is actually identify the exact area that my clients are looking for, and then go ahead and click search in this area, and only those properties that have identified are going to show up in that search. You can always click remove boundary if you want to do that, or you can come back into draw and you can draw again. All right, let's go down to driving. So definitely check that out today. All right, so on driving, you have travel time, distance, and traffic counts. So if I click on travel time, I can put in an address, or I can take this little icon and I can move it around. So let's say they need to be close to the Coral Gables Hospital here, and then click next. And then you're going to select whether they want to do it by car or walk, whether the time of day of the week, and then the length of the journey. So let's say they want to be 10 minutes and then click next. And it's going to show you the entire area that they can get to. And then you can also click search in this area or create a market activity for that area, save it, edit, or delete. I'm just going to go ahead and delete. And we'll just keep this area here. I'm going to go back to driving. All right, so that is travel time. Distance kind of works the same way. You can put in an address and then hit next, or you can take this and move it around. So let's say they want to be down here close to this intersection here. Click next, and then choose your drive time. Let's say 3 miles. Click next, and it's going to give you that 3-mile radius to where they're at. You can always come back in and edit if you need to. You can search in that area and so on. But if you want to look at the area, make sure everything is covered, you can see that those properties are there. All right, I'm going to go ahead and remove that boundary. And here come all of my properties. There we go. All right, so now I would go ahead and I could go back and draw the area again that I'm looking at and then search in this area. So it's just an easy way. If you kind of do something like I just did, you can always come back in and get that area again by using your draw tool. The last thing I want to show you there is traffic counts. Click on traffic counts. You can search as many as you want or select all and then just hit apply. And your screen is going to come up with all these triangles. So if you have a house that's backing up to a busy street like this one is right here, just click on that and it's going to give you what the traffic count is in that area as well as the historical counts. So it just kind of gives them an idea what kind of traffic is going by that particular property. All right, so that is the traffic counts. Now I'm going to go ahead and edit traffic counts up here at the top, right next to remove boundary. And I'm going to go ahead and clear. So I'm getting rid of all of that on there. All right, the next one down is points of interest. Now these are coming soon. They're not ready yet. So sometime in the next few months, we're going to have all of our points of interest in there as well. And there are some really cool features. So do check back on that periodically and you'll see what we've done there. All right, the next one down is schools. So again, you can look for public, private, charter, elementary, middle, high. If I'm looking for just elementary and high, for instance, hit apply. And you can see now all the schools have been identified. And then you can always click on a school. It's going to give you the definition or what school it is. You can search in that area, create a market activity. You can also save the area. I'm just going to X out here. So again, you can click on any one of those and it's going to give you the boundaries and then that school information. All right, I'm going to go ahead and click on that again and clear that out. And I'm going to center my screen again. And then down here we have data layers, which is the same as our heat map. So if I click on data layers, you have all of the data layers or the heat maps that we've had before. So if I want to look at concentration of distressed properties, you can see the area here. Let's say I want to see the 12 months change in estimated value. Maybe I want to check the flood zones in this area. So again, you have access to all of these different data layers, and then you can always come up to the top here and apply, and then also clear. Okay. Right below that, you're going to see a legend, and then you'll be able to tell what all of these different icons mean. So the blue, properties are for sale, the gold, properties for lease, and then you also have off market and then other. So we've got new listing, coming soon, open house, those that are saved, and then your multiple properties. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of the full map. So now I've brought back everything here. I'm gonna go ahead and zoom in. Now you can see the 2 properties here that I've already saved. So I can click on one of those. And
Joe,
yes.
sorry to interrupt. Can you do one quick review again of expanding your map to the full screen and then coming back to this view?
Absolutely.
And how you do that?
All right, so right here, the one that's highlighted in blue right on the side. So right now you can see I've got my criteria up here. And if I want to get rid of that and just have the whole map view, these 4 arrows right here that's highlighted in blue, just click on that and it takes everything away, but you still have all of your tools on the right-hand side. And now I can see my area here. So I can do a little more research, use my driving, whatever I need to locate the properties. And then when I need to go back, all I have to do is click on those 4 arrows again, and it brings it back where I have access to the filters again. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you.
Joe, I have one more interruption. Yes. Sorry about that.
That's
can we review once again, because there was a question and I want to make sure that the members see this. If you open a particular property from the summary page of the property, how to use the mapping tools from that property. I answered it on the Q&A, but I want them to see it. So like when you have a property in front of you, just to click on the map on the right-hand side where it opens the interactive map.
That's where I'm going next. Thank you.
Oh, you are going next. I wasn't aware that you were going there next.
Not a problem.
I'm ahead of the game.
You're ahead of me. Thank you, Robert.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. So here's one of the properties that I have saved. Let's say I want to go in and take a look at it. So I'm going to click on it and you can see the details here. I'm going to go down here and just click on full details, or you can click on the picture or the address, either way, whatever works best for you. And it takes you into the details. So the same tabs at the top up here, you got summary, history, charts, refined value, CMA, and neighborhood. Those have not been changed at all. It still has all the great information. It's just a little bit bigger font, a little bit cleaner, but everything is here that you can go through, all right? Same way with charts. And charts, refined value, CMA, all of these are the same. There's no changes on these pages at all. The biggest change is on the summary. So you've got your pictures, you've got your address. Right below that, you've got the photos. You've got the street view. Oh, that's a beautiful street view. Overhead view. I didn't realize I'd picked such a good one here. Here's the overhead view. This one has a virtual tour. So if you've got a property that has a virtual tour or a 3D tour, those will show up in here. I can click on that. It is going to open up another tab and take me right in to that virtual tour. So cool. So now I can watch the virtual tour from here, right? And then you've got the historical photos as well that you can go in and take a look at. And if it's been listed multiple times, you have access to that as well. All right, what Robert was just talking about, let me go back to the photos here, is right to the right, you have the map. And you can see where the property is located. But if you click on that map, it takes you in and shows you where that property is located and then all of the properties that are around it. So any of the ones that are gray are off-market properties. You can still find out who the owner is on each one. If it's in the pending state, you can see that. Here's a rental. So again, you have access to everything that's around this property, whether it's on the market or off the market. Just click on that property and you can always click on the details to go in there. I'm gonna go ahead and X out up here at the top and it takes me back in. All right, so you've got the photos of that the agent put in. You can scroll through and look at those, or you can go into the bigger format if you're doing a Zoom meeting with your clients. That's a great way to look at those properties. And then you've got the property summary. So again, this is a card and you can either collapse it or expand it. You have what the list price is and you have the RVM. To go in and look at the details now about this property, all you have to do is click on the 924 and it takes me into the RVM details. I can print this, shows me the range, shows me the properties that were used to create that RVM, and then I can scroll down and look at those properties. Okay. So you still have access to that, just clicking on the RVM. And then you can go into the refined value or create a CMA, which will also take you up here to these two tabs here. You've got all the listing agents information here on the right-hand side. And then you have additional resources. So based on what your MLS has or your association has for products for you, those products could show up in here. So right now we've got Valuate, but if you use showing time or zip forms or down payment resources, or even some of the commercial links will be in here. Those will all show up in this area here. Okay, scrolling on down, you've got My Updates where you can add notes and photos and seller's proceeds. So if I wanted to add a note, for instance, to this property, click on add a note. This property is perfect for the Teeter family. And then hit save. And what it does, it gives me a date and timestamp right above it. I can always come in and edit that as well as delete it. And then it will show up in any report that I send out on this particular property. Okay, here's the historical records. You can come down here and click compare. The other thing that changed here is the listing ID. So you can go back in and visit that listing just by clicking on it. It's going to open up another tab and take you right into that listing. And then you've got all the listing details, price change history. Everything is here just as it was before, just in a little bit bigger format. But again, if there's something that you don't need, just go ahead and collapse it. Click on those three dots, collapse that card, and then it will be hidden and you can get to whatever you want a little bit quicker. Okay. All right. So those are just some of the things that, again, you can save the property. If you click on one that you haven't saved, you can always go ahead and save it. You can also remove from save this way as well. I'll just go ahead and save it. You can do a print, and then I can print it. And you can do it either in black and white or color here. And then you can go ahead and you can see all the pages that are going to be printed off. And then click print. All right. And then if you want to create a report, click on create a report, takes you over to the report tab. This is not changed at all either. It's got all of your page elements. You can do the page numbers. You can add 5 custom pages also in here. On the reports here, it's going to default again to the property report, but you can see how many pages approximately are on each report. You can view the sample. And then to view the pages, just click on that plus sign. And it's going to take you in and you can see all of the pages. Hover over, it's going to show you what it is. If you don't want something, just make sure you uncheck it and then it will not be included in that report. Okay. All right, so again, everything else is still the same. Personalize your report, choose your delivery method, and then run report. Again, they only are there for 30 days and then they drop off. So let me go up here. Let me go ahead and uncheck custom notes, custom pages. And I'm going to come down here and just click run report. It's going to pop up. I'm going to run the report here. The reports are going to show up now up here at the top of the page. And so if you're getting a lot of reports in there, you may want to come over here and collapse that so that it's hidden until you need them. So that's one way that you can use that. But again, all your reports are going to show up in this area here. All right, let's go back home. A couple of things I want to talk about. Let's just kind of briefly look at the research here, and let's do a market activities search. So I'm going to click on market activities search from the research tab. And let's just go ahead and put in Miami, Florida, 33134. And then you can select the property types that you want to include, and then also include the changes within the last 3 days, week, month, 3 months, or 6 months. I'll just leave it at 3 months here. You can select the property type. You can select the price range and lease price if you'd like, as well as beds, baths, and any other filters that you want. And then just hit search, and it's going to show you how many properties now have come up on your search criteria. And then again, you can use your map tools if you need to, and then you can also create a report right from there as well. So I can click on one of the others, the list or the grid, and my report has generated. I'll just hit close. And now I can go ahead and create my market activity report from there. All right, so that is market activity. All right, let's briefly talk about commercial. All I have to do is now just click on the toggle, move it down to commercial, and now I can go into the commercial side. If I go ahead and put in, let's just do Miami, Florida again here, and we'll do the 33134. It's just easy for me to type in that zip code. That's why I picked it today. So based on which toggle you have, it's going to depend on what's going to show up over here. So now I can go ahead and do for sale or for lease, or I can look at public records, select the status, property type. And again, you have all the different property types. So if you're looking for one in particular, you can choose that. And then select your price range that you're looking for, just like you can before. And then you can choose your building square footage or your leasable square footage. And then you also have your lot size. If you click on the filters, again, you can modify anything that you've already done. Coming on down here, your standard use, you're going to be able to see a lot of those again. And then also your keywords are all based on the commercial side. But you have a lot of the same criteria here that you do on the residential side. And then you can see how many using the filters are going to show up. Just click update and search. And now you'll see all of the properties. I think there was a property that I had saved that I wanted to show you. Let's see if it shows up in here. Yeah, let me just click on one. All right, so let's say we want to take a look at this property. I'm just going to click on the full details here. And you can see all of the information about that property. But if I scroll down now to the additional resources, you can now see that Brevitas is in here. They were the ones that is also in their system. So I can click on view details, click OK. It's going to open up another tab for me up here at the top and take me into the Brevitas listing. And so I can learn about the agent here and any other information about this particular property. Okay. So that is pretty cool. All right, let's see. Okay, not the report before that. She was in property information page. I'm not quite sure what you're asking there.
Joe, I think what Kamal was asking about is when you're in the property summary page and you collapse certain cards, when you then go to the print button, will it not print the collapsed sections, or does it still print the entire record? So right now,
Really good question, because I have not tried that yet.
Exactly. So I believe that it prints the full, that the collapse function is simply a viewing function, not to omit it. If you want to omit sections, then you want to go to create report and look at a property report and eliminate sections from this view of the property, if that made sense.
Okay. All right. So again, on the commercial side, it works the same as it does on the residential side. Let's go back home. I want to do one more thing. I see we've got some other questions in here. Brevitas is a commercial only software or site. Correct. See, a lot of those are all just commercial MLSs. All right. One other thing I want to point out here under the research, down here under commercial site selection, this is kind of cool as well. Let me click on that. If you're looking for either for commercial or even maybe for somebody that maybe is a client that's moving into an area, or you're trying to do some farming for a particular area, this might come in handy. So what broad area do you want to search? So let's just say, I'm just going to stick with Miami here, and we'll do the 33134. Or you can select on the map. You also have attributes here. So I'm looking for people. I want to know who they are, for instance. And then I want to know what their income is, or any of these others. Just scroll down until you find what you're looking for. And then you can also select here, I want to know what their median household income is, and then the age group. So if I'm working with the 35 to 44 age group, I would select that. Come down here to OK, and then click Run Analysis. And you're going to see your area pops up, and you can see which one is better or best. You can click on the section here, and it's going to show you what the median household income is, what their household income is here for this area, for that age group. And then you can search for listings, search all public records, view trade area details. You can also come down below here and see all of the different areas here. So the median household income for this zip code, and then for the age, what they are in these different areas. So, and then you can get a trade area analysis report from there as well. So there's a lot of cool things that you can do now to search for possible listings or to work with buyers or to help either the buyers or the sellers for finding certain areas. So again, hopefully this has kind of helped give you a better idea of what's going on with the new RPR. Let me just check the questions here. I recall hearing Joe saying something about the tab next to the listing section that shows all transactions. I'll see if I can check it out later. Oh, okay. Let me go down here. I know what she's talking about now. Let me go down to recent, and we'll just click on this property here. Oh, that's not the one I wanted. Okay, let's go back and find one that we'll do Venetia here. Okay, so when you're looking over here under the historical listing details, this is where you can see all of the transactions that have occurred prior to. I think that's what you were talking about, but you can click on the compare historical records. It's going to give you a side-by-side comparison of every time that it's been in your MLS. Okay. All right, so hopefully I answered that. When I try finding comps in the map, it doesn't appear the options in the right side of the map. Could you make a comp, please? All right, so when you're creating a CMA, if I was going to do this for a buyer, for instance, I would come down here and click on create a CMA, and that takes you right into your CMA. Click on confirm facts, and then you would confirm the facts here. I'm just going to come down here and confirm. And then when you find the comps, you can add in your own property up here at the top, or you can search for properties within this area. You can use your custom area here. You can also use the geographies. You can select your property status here. So if I'm just looking for closed properties, or I want also properties maybe that have an off-market date further back, or expired, canceled, whatever I'm looking for, you can put that information in and then just click search, and it's going to show you all the properties here that you can add as your comps. So hopefully that,
Joe,
yes.
I think what the member was referring to is that on the map, on the old version of RPR, you were able to draw, you know, a radius and then count the distance on that radius, or maybe a polygon or a rectangular shape. We can use geographies, and that's great for the micro neighborhood and macro and whatnot. But the ability to draw, we don't see it. And I had that question myself, and I know that the use custom area is there, and we can create a custom area. But if you can review how to do that,
Sure.
That would be great.
Okay. All right, let's go
But
back.
from there, so it's not going to be from there custom areas. Like what I'm saying is, like they want to do a comparable, right, on a property, and they want to do a half a mile radius from that subject property. On the old version, you're able to do that, and it's not there on the new version.
Okay, let me check into that. If you can put in your email address, we will research that and get back to you. And I can also do that with you, Robert, as well.
Thank you.
All right, are there any other questions? Okay, we are recording this, so you will get a copy of this. So let me just kind of go back into the PowerPoint here and just kind of talk a little bit about what to do next here. So if you log into nerrpr.com or through your MLS, give it a test ride. You know, focus on what your number one business need is right now, whether it's looking for properties for a buyer or helping a seller get their property sold or listed. You know, focus on one task and then go in and learn as much as you can and just kind of play around with it. Don't be afraid of it. You can't break it. And don't forget about the learn and the help features up at the top that can also help you navigate through the new RPR. And then let us know what you think of the site. You know, some of you may not like it, some of you might. The little learning curve there. But email us support@nerrpr.com, and you can even ask your question there, about doing the CMA and the radius search if you want to do that. Go ahead and put it in there as well. And we'll get back to you, I promise. All right, tips for learning in RPR. Again, whatever page you're on, go ahead and click on that learn, and then the appropriate videos and articles will pop up on that page about that page. Don't forget about the help up there at the top. Do a live chat, call us, email us, or click on that training. If you do click on search, for instance, in that search bar there, it's going to pull up all of the articles regarding searches, and then you can go ahead and read those by clicking on the title there, and it will give you lots of great information. Plus, you have all the articles over here on the left-hand side, the knowledge base articles as well. And then if you go into the training area, that's where all of our resources are there as well. So please take advantage of everything that we have to offer for you, and hopefully it will make your journey in the new RPR Refresh a lot easier, and you will enjoy it as much as we do. All right, what else we got here?
Let's see. There was one just quick question, somebody asking about how do you search celebration, in Orlando, and that's simply, on the homepage up in the search area, right at the very top, you can enter any address right here under location. You can enter in an address, a place, a neighborhood, a specific MLS number if you have it. So very easy to do a search anywhere.
Okay.
There's
Right.
another question from Vilma about the agricultural properties in any area, such as homestead. Does it show the if it has exemptions such as agricultural land exempt? So, I mean, you can answer this, but I have a feeling that most of the information that it's going to show is coming from one public record to the MLS. So if it's not showing on either, it's probably not going to show on RPR either, right?
That is correct.
Correct. Remember that the system is built on public records at its core, at its base, and then we overlay any listings through the MLSs onto that. So that those are the primary data sources. And in some cases, some counties, assessor or appraisal districts do have, if there are exemptions, but it just depends on the county and the particular property. But take a look at a particular public record, just an individual, address that you may be looking at.
I see we have a question. Can you search by subdivision? Absolutely. So again, you can go up to research here and put in a neighborhood, or if you don't know how the neighborhoods are identified, again, you've got your geographies here that you can use. Just click on one. Let me go a little bit bigger here so that you can see it easier. And then you can go ahead and click in that area, and it will give you the name of the area. And then I can go ahead and search for properties based on my criteria. So yes, you can search. I got too many properties. I can't even tell you what the name of that neighborhood is. But again, up here at the top, you can also do your neighborhood search this way as well. So if I want to know all the neighborhoods that are within that zip code, I would just go ahead and choose within here as the type. And then it's going to show me all of the neighborhoods that are within that zip code. And then I can go ahead and click on those areas, view nearby listings. So you have all of that information still in here as well. All right. This comment, this does not work on my phone well at all. Embarrassing when with customer, I put an address in for the property, it doesn't come up. Sterling, I would contact our member support and have them research that with you. I have not had any issues on the mobile pulling up properties, so I'm not quite sure what's going on, but check with our member support and see if they can help you.
You may need to do an update, but, and there's also a few quick videos just that are shortcuts. Is if this is a recent issue with your mobile app, then definitely call member support. It could be that you just need to do an update on that.
So sometimes when you're doing an update, what I would recommend is actually deleting the app off your phone and then reinstalling it from the App Store or Google Play Store. And then you'll get the current version and you'll be up to date. And hopefully everything will work from there. If not, I would still contact member support and they can maybe help troubleshoot with you. All right.
Okay. Well, thank you all for being such an engaged group. We have lots of questions, and we hope that we answered many of those with this tour today. If you are really new to RPR, I would really urge you, there is a full series of webinars ongoing for just an introduction or for specific topics that, as Robert mentioned, we're doing on a national basis that you can find on your calendar, as well as in our Learn and Help area. As well as, you know, your local team really building their knowledge and starting to do classes within the new RPR. There's also a lot of very specific content related webinars or videos. There is a full residential video series, and they're short, so you can take little bits and bites. And if you just want to focus on maps, for example, there is a quick series there. Or if you want to learn more about the CMA and how to navigate that, or for example, the mobile app. If you haven't downloaded the mobile app, there's some great videos as well there. So we really wanted you to take advantage of all those resources, and again, encourage you to use our resources as well as your local team there for any questions that you may have. And with that, I think we can close for today and say thank you very much, Robert. And we'll get this video to you and your team so it can be posted. And thank you.
Excellent.
For the tour of the new RPR. I hope you see, I mean, there's some great new features. The visuals, the map is a wow factor as far as I see. I love having that large new map available. So thank you all for joining us. Thank you for the invitation, Robert. And everyone have a great rest of the day. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye. Thank you, guys.
Bye.